Hey everyone, Kelly here. Today I have my glasses on. I don't really wear my glasses a lot, but my brain is so tired. We're in a heat wave here in our neck of the woods. It's like 40-ish degrees, which is in Celsius because I'm in Canada. So I don't know what that is in Fahrenheit, but it's really hot. So that's all you need to know. So because it's really hot out, I'm just like, my brain doesn't need to work any harder than it already needs to. So glasses. Today I'm going to do a quick little review on a book I just finished. So before I get started, I just want to remind everyone to please like and subscribe if you like the books. If you like the content I bring you, and let's get started. Okay, so in one of my previous videos, I mentioned that I picked up a couple new books because even though I'm trying not to buy books right now, I did get a gift card, so guilt-free shopping, if you will. So one of the books I picked up was the book I'm going to review today, and that would be Roar by Cora Carmack. So here's just a close-up on the cover, and actually I love when books do this. This is one picture when you open it up, which I just think it's fun when they do that because they don't always, so why not? This book I bought on a whim because I had a gift card, and also because on the front we have a quote from Jennifer Armentrout, who, if you've watched any of my videos, you know that I really love her From Blood and Ash series. So the quote on the front says, "Carmack shines with this unique fantasy and alluring romance." So I saw that and I was like, okay, I'm in. Also, this badass photo, like, what's going on? I want to know. So I finished this in 2 days, a day and a half, perhaps. I really enjoyed this, and this is an example of a book where I didn't really know anything going into it, but I just had a feeling that I would like it, and so I took the plunge, and I think having that gift card, thank you, really just, you know, I didn't have to feel bad about spending because it wasn't really spending, sort of, because I stayed within the gift card, so it's all good. I already talked about the synopsis of this book in a previous video, but I will just quickly tell you what this book is about. In Roar, we follow the main protagonist, Aurora, who is the heir to a kingdom. She is the heir to the Pavanian kingdom, and her lineage are made up of people called Stormlings, and Stormlings can help control storms and can go into the eye of a storm and take out the storm heart. So in the book, you have all sorts of tempests coming at you. You have thunderstorms, which they call skyfire storms, which is pretty cool. I think, you know, just a fun little way to make things a little different, but we still understand what's happening. So these people, Stormlings, they go into the storm and they use their magic that they were born with to go into the storm and take the eye out, which they call storm heart. And when they get the heart of the storm out, it is a piece of rock, and it contains that storm's power in that rock. So the person who conquers the storm keeps the storm heart, and now they have that power at their disposal. So as we go through the book, we meet all sorts of different types of people, and I want to keep this review spoiler free because I really want more people to read this book, because there's only, I think, just over 10,000 reviews, I believe, on Goodreads. I'll double check when I'm editing to verify. But I had never heard of this author. I had never heard of this book. When I looked up the author, Cora Carmack, I saw that she mainly writes romance, adult romance. So this was her first YA endeavor, and I think it was pretty successful. So without giving too much away, we follow Aurora, who I said was the heir to the Pavanian throne. And at the very beginning of the book, she's getting ready to be married off to another kingdom's prince. And she's not sure how she feels about it, but she doesn't have any other option really, because what we find out at the very beginning, which I thought was really interesting. I mean, a little predictable maybe, but still interesting. Aurora doesn't actually possess any Stormling powers, which is a huge problem for her kingdom because how she's supposed to protect their people. So because of this, her mother, the queen, is like, you need to marry this prince who is also a Stormling, but from another kingdom, because then we'll have somebody who can help protect the kingdom after I'm gone. And nobody knows that she doesn't have any powers except for the Queen, and Aurora. So it's a huge secret being kept under wraps. We meet the prince. His name is Cassius. When Aurora first meets Cassius, she's a little hesitant because she's very isolated. She does not interact with a lot of other people because she's trying to keep her secret under wraps. And so she doesn't get close to other people because she doesn't want them to find out that she doesn't have any powers, because that would be a huge problem. So she meets Cassius. They get along pretty well and pretty quickly. And I mean, she's only 17, I believe, or maybe 18. She's 17 or 18. And things are going well, but then she overhears something from Cassius and his brother Casimir, and she starts questioning their arranged marriage, and she's not sure whether she wants to enter that arrangement or not. So she ends up following him one night into the city, unbeknownst to him, and she comes across someone named Locke, who he helps her out of a bind, and she quickly discovers that he is a storm hunter. And what's a storm hunter? A storm hunter is someone who is not born with magic, but is able to possess it and wield it to help control storms and to collect storm hearts. So Aurora finds this out, and she's like, what? What do you mean you don't have to be born with this power? Because everyone has been saying that I need to have this power from birth, and what the hell, you know? So she decides to go on an adventure with Locke and a bunch of ragtag friends of his who I loved, and I will get into them very soon. But yeah, the story is about Aurora, who everyone calls her Aurora for short, but when she meets Locke and his friends, she doesn't want them to know that she's a princess. So she starts to say Rora, her nickname, but she stops. So she says Roar, and they're like, Roar? Your name's Roar? And she just goes with it. I think it's pretty fun. I really enjoyed this book. I gave it a 4.5 out of 5. I don't know, it might change if I read it again, but I thought this was a really, really fun, fast-paced, very, very good world building in this book. I kind of liken it to a younger high fantasy type of read, which I love because, like I've said many times, I am so scared to get into adult high fantasy because I'm worried that I'm just, yeah, I'll get there one day, but today's not the day. I zipped through this. I loved the world building. I loved Locke. I loved Aurora because I will say at the beginning, she started off a little bit too much of a princess to me, and I wasn't here for it. I was kind of like, okay. But everything I had heard about this book through little review snippets, whether it was online, like through the publisher or in the front of the book, they all were mentioning how Cora Carmack takes a typical fantasy romance and she puts some nice little twists in there. So we do see Aurora develop a bit more. She grows, she latches on to this new identity and she runs with it, and I loved it. I love me some girl power, okay? And even before she runs away, she is very quick to show people she doesn't really like that she's not one to mess with. So I love that. I loved Locke, but I also really loved his friends in their little storm hunter group. We meet Jinx, who is an earth witch, and she has the ability to help tamper down storms so that the storm hunters can go in and do their thing. She can also create food out of like nothing, which is great for travelers because like, where are you gonna get your food, right? We meet someone named Ransom, who's a lot of fun, and he's got a thing for Jinx. It's really cute. We meet another guy named Bait, who's like the novice. Duke, who is the older man in the group, and he's like the wise one. He's more of a healer. It's just great. We have a lot of great world building, lots of fantastical elements. This is a mild spoiler, but there is a little bit of insta-love in this book, but then I do find that I didn't mind it so much because even though there were feelings present, nothing really happens until way later. So yeah, and this is very YA, like this is not steamy. There are some like really nice moments of tension, which I appreciate. I really like reading those. But yeah, overall, I thought this was a lot of fun. Great world building. I loved reading about the magic. And I also just love the concept that you can like bottle a storm almost. And I love the idea of the storm hearts, where it's a physical thing that you can take from the eye of a storm. I just think that's so cool. At the very beginning, Aurora, is wearing jewelry that has storm hearts all up in it. And I just think that's so cool. I would love to see like bookish merch of this. I think it would be so cool, like rings, earrings, necklaces. Like, hello, Cora, I'm just letting you know, you could totally like sell some merch for this. I've already started the second book because why not? It's a pretty quick read. Like it's just under 400 pages. And I mean, I have the paperback. So I also thought it was pretty cool that between every chapter, there's a little tiny passage from a book in this world, or somebody's diary, or ancient texts or proverbs. I really like that because it just makes the world more real, and it kind of solidifies everyone's worldview and their perspectives and the history. So I just really enjoyed that. I know I've read some YA fantasy romance books in the past where I've thought like, wow, this is kind of steamy for YA. I would not say that at all for this book. It's very tame, it's very youthful, but still the detail and the world building was not like dumbed down or too young. So I thought it was great. If you are looking for steam, probably not this book, but I haven't read the sequel yet, so who knows? I doubt it. I think I heard that it's pretty tame. But yeah, I really enjoyed this one. So it was a really happy surprise to come across it and actually like it. And I took a risk and bought the first two at the same time, which I never do. So yeah, I'm excited. Have you read this book? Let me know what you thought in the comments below. Or maybe you've picked up a book like I picked up this book with no prior knowledge. I didn't even know the author, and I came out really happily surprised. So if that's happened to you, please let me know which book, which author, because maybe I also haven't heard of them and I would love to check them out. That's all for me today. I just want to do a little quick review because it is too darn hot. Anyone kiss me, Kate? No? Okay, theater nerd. So yeah, it's way too hot. It's so hot that I even put on shorts today, which I never wear shorts. I like to cover up, but it's too hot for body image issues, so watch out, world. Yeah, I will hopefully have another video up for you soon. And as you can see, there's no books here because my bookshelves are gonna be here any day now. So I hope to do a bookshelf setup and tour video very, very soon. I hope you're staying cool wherever you are, and I will see you next time. Bye!